Jumdending Gombon Jahoraya La Janza Lo Congo Lo Dumni Dumder Newton Namdara Survey, Jenny Dongo, Jim Niji, Dagarala, Kondo de Bidor, Maru Mando, Demura Jizarve, Roto Gala, Vajet, Yala Dubje, Yandon, Tudor Jeto, Numo, Yalo, Leje, Zado, Dumza, Maru Maze, Demura Nyaga, Jenny, Jamza Rata. Doni da jang sa jin da zo yon de le zo jie jie de zhe zhao zhe dang zhe ni jian jian da lu men zi ren jia hu ra yang la an de de Omara ba za na 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 de Omara ba za Omara ba za na de 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 Omara Bazana de Tudun Jijin Jero Wozirki, Dolu Dame Mambaravza, Guadan Damju Jolu Dobai, Luju Rubi Nava Jid Soro, Nyoji Jimbo Tudun Nimi Jan, Zoni Molon Jimbo Ngadiat, Pakara Dangam Zandu Jama Do, Tomba Tiji Janla Shanza Lo.
We are going to begin now with this afternoon's teaching.
And
we are going to continue teaching on the text parting from the four attachments.
Tani jemba jipter kanala tanang ngato ina ngatso tini ta tsinda la jina chupa menzene ta ngatso chupa shi samna tani mamta ina tani ta tsinda tadag la jina te zindu ka mare zene tani ta lurjita tanang hamo kondu chapa tere.
So in this morning's teaching, we address the first of the parting from the four attachments. If you're attached to this life, you're not a true spiritual practitioner. And in the first of these teachings, we learnt about how becoming a true spiritual practitioner requires, in the very least, or as a basic minimum requirement, not being solely attached to this existence.
Tani ta tsika nipati la gari zegre zina tsik nipati tani korwa la jina ngimjong man sone tani ngimjong ko sambati yakboz kirgona tani kamsam korwa la tani majin ba tani zgore sone ta tsika nipati tere ngacho terang shidu shayati tsika nipa gaton tere.
And so the second line is, if you are attached to samsara, you don't have renunciation. And this line addresses attachment to the three realms of samsara. If we have this, if we are attached in this way, then it is not possible for us to have renunciation. So the second of the four attachments will be the subject of our teaching for this afternoon session.
Ta tarwa teni chu dubna teni tarwi lam teni tendriz teni dubna teni yendamanda ngimjong de yogo red.
So if we are practicing in the path of liberation, then it's absolutely essential that we have renunciation.
Teni nga cho tanang yin na teni nangchu la teni lobjong da nyamlim shi na teni damga sim yo sone tanang ha motu shepare tati damga sim de sirn dana dor dana ning na la dana chokondo teni chiti tharwa aso tharwi lam lan ro ata chiti teni da nerkab ka tharwi lam mayen na nerkab ka teni soso rana la teni demo da ke bo yong ya teni ga teni lam kha ni reze.
So this morning we spoke about three choices that we have in respect of our study and practice of the Dharma. It's actually possible to condense these choices down to two fundamental choices. That is, the choice between entering into the path of liberation and a choice to, for the time being, not practice for the purpose of liberation, but rather for our temporary happiness in this life or in future lives.
Teni shirtang nga zo nangchu te na korang teni gurzi tsongkang chaoshi gurzi tsongkang tawa teni ziri ti nangla mambo zi teni ndo tape na gurzi tsongkang chiga nangla teni jaga jalak teni gong chenpo yang yore gong tsamo yang yore ramda mambo ndu teni rabo zi teni nga zo nangchu nangla teni sanga dorje thakba yang yore teni thakba chenpo re teni thakba chong re teni lhami thakba re taso nangla teni shirtanga tendriga nati chu mambo zindu ti nangni soso ranga gang teni lo nyamlim shi samna teni chokore.
We can say that in fact Buddhism is rather like a supermarket. That is, there are many choices that we have available to us. So just as in a supermarket there are items that are more expensive, others that are cheaper, items of all different kinds, so too in Buddhism we have the teachings of the Vajrayana, the Mahayana, the Hinayana, the worldly vehicle, and as to which of these we practice, the choice is our own.
Tani di so nani tani so ranga tani pena ngarang tharwa ga lamla tani ro yin zena tani ta tharwi lamla ro ki ka charkin te so yak pos changgo re tani ngarang ka chula lojung che ge yin da yin nga tharwi lamla ro man tharwa ngarang la thop murgo ngarang la sarje yang thop murgo dabjum ba yang thop murgo tani zena tani jitin lami tani ta thaba te la lojung che nan de re te yin na tani ngimjong te go mare Garti tharwa ga lamla tin ro yin ngarang tharwa thobya ga chu tin ji drab ko yin zena tendi yin da manda ngimjong te go re.
So if we want to enter into the path of liberation, then it's necessary that we possess the basic requirements or the basic conditions for this path of practice. If our intention is to study the Buddhist teachings but not to attain liberation or to attain the state of arhatship or Buddhahood, then it is okay if we simply practice according to the motivation of the worldly vehicle. And in this case, it is not necessary that we cultivate renunciation. If, however, we are intent on pursuing liberation, then renunciation is something that we necessarily must cultivate.
Tani shirtang atsu sargi jundande kongatini chusong ne kabnayang tim mu susu korangatini sambala tini tani chusong bare Demato batini kyu yendamanda tini tharwi lam dribgore zerata kyarang yendamanda thaba chimbo dribgore kyarang yendamanda tini dorji thaba lobgore zerata tini yom mare rana soso gang lojong shi samna tini ti lojong shi na chokore yinna ti nani karde ngatso tini shangchib ku sem tini ke tabsona tini pe yakshu to tini ta tharwi lam la rotona te ngatso la pantok chishu ti diri.
So when the Buddha gave his teachings, he did so according to the disposition and levels of his listeners. So he didn't say, for example, you necessarily must study the path of liberation or you necessarily must study the Mahayana or the Vajrayana. Really the path that a individual pursues is up to them to decide. Of course, it is said that if it is possible to cultivate bodhicitta, then entering into the path of liberation is the best choice.
Tani tharwi lamlan rona tani ta ngacho tharwi lam tela tharwi lam nindu tari ngacho kongrapsha tharwi lam yimba ta mayimba ni yore tharwi lam mayimba de ngacho tanang shapi jitin lami tak pa tere tani ta tharwi lam tela yang ni yore tharwi lam tela de kangre jena tani takpa chimbo go tharwi lam dang tani takpa chungo go tharwi lam jene ni yore de ni po gang yin na tani ngimjong de ni kala go re ma to pa ngimjong de mena tani takpa chimbo go tharwi lam la ro thop ko mare takpa chungo go tharwi lam la ro thop ko mare gang ro thop ko mare.
So this morning we spoke about two paths. One according to the worldly vehicle and its scope of motivation, and then a path of liberation. So we can divide different paths into those that are oriented towards liberation and those that are not. within the path, or those paths that are oriented towards liberation, it's possible to divide them up into two further categories. That is the path of liberation according to the basic vehicle, or the Hinayana, and the path of liberation according to the teachings of the Mahayana tradition. However, in respect of both paths of liberation, whether it be according to the Hinayana or the Mahayana, renunciation is equally important for both. That is to say, without renunciation, it's not possible to enter into either the Hinayana or the Mahayana path to liberation.
Teni ngimjong te yo sona kandiz rezina pena teni mo jartong chumba mo mambo teni sasha chila teni shok chila parndi ndro yo na teni tin nani mo khashiz ta ngarang parndo mo ngapshir ndro yin zeni teni kapshir khor jang jangpan dawo teni je ngacho teni khamsum simchin khamsum khora na la yo pi simchin hali basam ji me che ba chang me ba mambo yo re ticho changmang khorwa na la par chama ngol la par ndro yo re ngol shok la par khorwa na la teni ngimjong yo jangna teni ta ngacho ta ngang par ndro men ta ngapshir ndro yin ze teni kapshir khor jagwan dawo pe jangna teni je ngimjong de yo sona.
Once we've cultivated the mind of renunciation, it's possible to liken it to a situation where many people are all rushing in one direction, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people, and just a few people are electing to turn around and travel in the opposite direction. If we think about it, all the beings in the three realms of samsaric existence are moving towards samsara. They're heading towards samsara. Once we have renunciation, it is the same as us reversing our direction and moving from samsara.
Tani ngacho ngimjong de nam yona pena ngacho terang rapozla ngacho go sem ganala ngimjong go samba yakbozo yo sona tani ngacho nyima terang ni tani tharwi lamla tani kangbachu tani tharwi lamla poz kombachu posar songre te yendi tani ngimjong soso jella kipa dang tani tharbi lamla tani komba tangbo poaniga tondak chikpares.
So from the very point that we generate renunciation, from the very day that we begin to have renunciation, then this is the same as the first day that the day that we take our first step in the path of liberation. So when we generate renunciation in our mind stream, this is the same as entering or taking our first step on the path of liberation.
Teni ngacho tsinti tola ngimjong teni ngimjong ga samlo dawo teni yakbozo yondro thapsona teni ngacho chu tola mangje pe yakbo teni resong tena teni ngacho pe na kiwa shima dan tetsola yang mangje te yakbozo yosona teni ngacho kiwa shima ina teni ti mangje ti thoni yar chevzang la ndore
ti chukla yang ja sona chokam
ngacho pe da teni ngimjong te yakbozo yosona teni mangje 지추제 망지의 약보조 요소인데 망지의 약보 요소나 되는 아주 기업시마랑 망지 티토네 되니 야르진로 그래 제브장 로레 페카르침보레.
So having renunciation, or having the mind of renunciation, is a very important foundation for our practice, and it is a foundation upon which we can continue to build in our future existences.
Tani tarwi lam thobze tarwa thobze ya teso tani ngacho ju kokjir ranglu shenmi juyi kokjir ranglu ka tani ju samlon da ota chi tindis rezina te mareze tarwa thobze ya te mareze tarwa thoba te pe na ngacho nyamlin yakbo ju shetamna lo khashi tani nyamlin shev jana yang pe na lo nga lo chi tindi lo den tindi nyamlin shev jana tarwa thobni ngacho tarwa ngoma thob masona teni ngacho thola ta tharajeya te thomna chokondu samba tindiga sosorangla ngishi yakbokia da ichi thobya ga tindiga ngerwa halepa chimbondro re.
So when we speak of liberation, some people may feel that this is a rather mystical kind of idea, a mystical kind of notion, but in actual fact it isn't at all. By diligently committing ourselves to practice, it is possible within 5 or 6 or 7 years that although we may not have completely achieved liberation, that we will feel ourselves closer to the goal, and on this basis have a heightened belief and confidence in its eventual possibility. So what we actually mean by liberation is something that I would like to speak on briefly.
Tini chinang lap zhini, tani chinang lap zhini te kwarang gu te nga ma suma yinpi kapsa kandri yinna, tenji tsangma tsangkyang chaksongwa tawa, tenji zigla nga tsu simdi tenji risongna, teni tela tarwa ziga yore.
So, in terms of liberation, it is our afflictions and our negative thoughts, through achieving liberation, it is possible to make our minds completely clean and pure, and to eliminate these afflictions and negative thoughts completely from it. So we can liken this to clothes that are heavily stained, and through putting them in water and washing them, it's possible to restore the clothes to the state they were in when we originally bought them. And in doing the same thing to our minds, restoring them to their original state of purity, this is what we mean by liberation.
Tani nga cho nangchu na la tini ndo sho yenari nga sang dorje thaba na la yenari namgin tani nga cho simti namkha pe jagni pe nga cho simti namkha ra bo yin zene pe tin jo yore.
So in Buddhism, whether it be in the sutras or in the tantras, our minds are quite often likened to the sky. This is a very common metaphor that we use.
Teni tsik kang pepsho tanga yore zina nga cho namgin tini nga cho simti oksar wa yin ze oksar zi tsik ti pepsho tanga yore pe ti kang re zina namkha ga pen jo yore. Teni sim khorang ko ngo ti kang re zina ngo tini khorang ngo ti par tini toya ga tsik ti oksar zi ti goni tini tonga yore tsik ti pepsho tanga yore.
So in addition to using this metaphor in terms of language, or the word that we often use to describe the mind or its basic nature, its basic essence, we frequently use the word luminous to describe the basic nature of the mind.
Tini te kandiz shaka ton ngumat kandiz tini ton gogore zena tini ngat perna namkha khorangla tini namkha nangni perna chumba teni namkha na la teni mepali yopa yongore teni kapkapse namkha chama chamba gangjore teni yang kapkapse teni chamba te so par namkha na la mepare ni chijang mepa chagni teni go ngerwa mambo ro yore riti na namkha khorangla ngerwa yo mare ngama teni ri tata teni ngerwa mepi gone teni de yore namkha khorang ta namina teni ta chama mepa chunte so mepa teni zres.
So what do these two in fact refer to? Well, we can understand it in terms of clouds that fill the sky. Sometimes there are so many clouds that they cover the sky completely, that they obscure it completely, whereas at other times the sky can be completely free of clouds entirely. And in fact, there are many changes that take place in terms of cloud formations and their relationship to the sky. However, regardless of how the clouds move back and forth, the sky itself doesn't change. The sky always remains as it is, that is, completely pure and free from defilement.
Ata tinti yendi ta nga cho sem go ngoti kan rizrezina teni nangchu go nala te songore nga cho sem go ngoti teni yongs takba o teni jema teni nyomong ba teni mambo menken teni yongs takba teni zre yena teni jema ta so tamche po teni girkin la teni lower to yong go yore ma to ba korang teni tin namgin yowa 요바 딘디스 마레즈네 딘디스 송고요레스.
So in Buddhism, the nature of the mind is described as being completely or perfectly pure and free from defilement. However, from time to time, due to various causes and conditions, it does become obscured. However, the basic nature of the mind itself is one of purity.
Then Osterziati Candice origin, the oat thing Natsu Tartan Tondia, what they don't derive marriage, derive Chichio Marese. Natsu Tartan Natsu Mukum Tong Tapa water, then Natsu Mukum Matapa what in the Mambuyor that the oat data, then Natsu Nanchu Nala, Natsu Simti Osara in Zaga what dini in derive Mares.
So when we speak of the luminosity of the mind, what do we mean by this? Well, luminosity in this context actually has no relationship to light that we usually speak of, such as the light in this room. In general, there are different kinds of light, some that we can see with our eyes and other types that we can't. But luminosity, when spoken of in relation to the mind, isn't referring to this ordinary kind of understanding.
Teni te mena te ngasu otam jera mena teni koranga oser ze goya go tondak chiri zena te pez go toni sha ke oreze pena ngasu marme go teni odina nyima tang dawa go odina gangna teni ote yona teni ti kaps teni mamba mannak te yo mareze audio sala mamba yo mareze ten da pozre ngasu sim go ngola teni nyomba yo mare jema yo mare ngasu go sim te ngote hal pena namkanda otini yongs takba tindizre ezegre te osarze ati tindigo pezres.
So why do we then describe the mind as being luminous? What is the purpose in so doing? Well, this also is a kind of metaphor, that we sometimes use. We talk of the light of a butter lamp or the light of the moon, the light of the sun, etc. And in all of these cases, what this light is referring to is a lack of darkness. And we can understand this in relation to our minds as being a lack of affliction and disturbing thoughts and negative thoughts and so on. So really, light in this situation is again referring to the pure nature of the mind.
Teni ngatsu sim de tenjawa teni ungo teni osarwa teni yembati teni ngatsu susu ditola tsin ditola ngatsu gum nyamle yakpo shene gum jamna teni ngatsu tsin ditola susu nyamnyung go toni teni zrend ngune de rend sambandawo hakotop gores.
That our mind is in its basic nature luminous is something that we can directly experience for ourselves in this very lifetime by diligently practicing meditation.
Teni tela te ngatsu semgo ngo te tere teni ta ngatsu tangbo ngarang so teni kamsum korwa ta ngatsu yongwi nekabna ngatsu ti ngo te yakbo mashi pi gemsenji teni ngatsu tarta ndowa rikzea dendiga teni nangwa mamta mandawa mambo ta dewa ta dungmar ta teni ndamanda mambo teni yores.
So that it is on account of not knowing or not understanding this basic essence of the mind, that the 3 realms of samsara, that the 6 types of samsaric beings who exist in various states of happiness and suffering come into being.
Teni ta tharwazina teni ngatsu simte teni tinala shir teni ta korang ngama teni kangne yongna tinala shir teni songwa ngama teni duma tinala teni shir songne teni korang ngama kangne yongna tinala par songwa tela teni tharwaze gayores.
So when we speak of liberation, we are talking about leaving this state or moving outside of this original state of being, or this tati juleyan jasona chokama.
Ngatsu tinani ngama ngatsu tini ti osarwa tinani mara yongwares. Tani ta ngatsu tini tinala shirndona tani hoigui tazran zikitere rangshung ngobo tinala tini shirlep sona tani tela tharwa zini zegayores.
So originally, in fact, we did emerge from this basic state of purity, and in achieving liberation, this is in fact returning to this original state of purity.
Teni nga tso gom yak po jamne teni nil ke ton te tok sona ya teni nga tso karma nga po karma chin po karma nishin o teni na la teni nga tso ti na la shirin ro thup kare teni tharwa thup kare nga tso pe na karma nga tharwa thopa ta karma chit tharwa thopa ta chisu sheka z tharwa thopa ta teni yum gore.
So by realizing the basic nature of our mind, it's possible for us to achieve liberation. And this might be a state of achieving liberation that lasts for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 or perhaps 30 minutes. In either case, in recognizing the basic nature of our mind, we can achieve liberation.
Yinayang ta nga tso gum yak po jab mathni tinri yin rang bola gum jab mathpi jimsanji Dani karma nga karma chichizu sheka jini yang nga tsomar yang khora na la lebyong gore namtok mambo na la lebyong gore.
Even though it's possible for us to experience liberation for 5 or 10 or 20 minutes on account of the fact that we are not sufficiently practiced in meditation over a significantly long period of time, after this short period passes, we ultimately return to the state of cyclic existence.
Dani tarwaga dokshukti kangrezina shangfan dokshukti kangrezina Jangwa res, Jangwa, nga tsung korwa nga la par jang jawa teri. O te tarwa ga dokshok te jangba res. Shufu se, jang jawa
So what is the opposite of liberation then? What is the opposite state of liberation? The opposite state is one of being subjugated or bound in samsara.
Tani jangba te nga tsu sugub jangga yorezina Jambaz kchangyo mareze nga so rangal namtok marigba o tin yomong ba ti tin nga chong khorwa na la par changro yo re tin khorwa le par thar ma to nami na khorwa na la par changro wa te nga so susu namtok da marigba wa ni changyo re.
So who is it or what is it that keeps us bound in this state of subjugation? Well, in actual fact, it is no one other than ourselves. That is our own conceptual thought and our own ignorance. These are what ultimately keeps us bound in this state of cyclic existence.
Perna nga so ngama tarta yo re ya perna z s re wa s tho o te lewi kaps tini Ti tark tini sid tini mbuz ka kanang ni yungu yores. Ti mbuti korang ka kanang ni tini z tini mambo yungu res. Ti yungu tini korang ka kanang ni yungu tini z tini korang dom ni tini korang ka kangwa tang lakba tamchu dom ni tini tama shinro res. Tini korang la tini dom kin janyo mari changkin janyo mari korang changya ti kang res la korang ka kanang ni shungu Tani ziti, tani korang jangare. O tinda bore ngacho susu rang ke nam tokti tini ngacho susu rang korang nala jangayore.
So we can liken our state of binding ourselves up in cyclic existence to that of a silkworm, from whose mouth comes a continuous string of silk from the silkworm's mouth. And as this becomes wound up and increasingly wound up, there is no one else doing this other than the silkworm itself. So we can say that this is also this is similar to the way that we are the ones who keep ourselves bound up in a state of samsara.
Teni nga tso tarwa tobzeyati shok chik go wandashina pek le laboz mare halipa kamureze nga tso korwa toma mepa ni tendi yin rangbola teni korwa na la yongre tai tarong yang tarwa tobya mare shok chini shana pe kamureze.
So in terms of gaining liberation from the state of being bound up in cyclic existence, from one point of view, we can say that this is not something that is easy to achieve at all. From the point of view that we have been cycling in samsara for an unbelievably long period of time, up until this present day, to achieve liberation from this state is something that is not easy.
Tani shochignisha na yang pe le labozreze nga sosoranga semte ni toksona semte yabote ni tokson yabo shisona ten lamsang teni ta tarwa topi ngosum gare shochiko andjina yang pe le labozreze.
However, looking at it from another point of view, we can say that in fact it's something that's very easy. From the point that we actually recognize the nature of our minds, then the process of extricating ourselves or liberating ourselves from samsara begins. So it's possible to say that from one point of view, it's also rather easy.
Teni ngatso sem go tola yopi jima teni nyomong ba teso tamchi popar mepache teni nyomong ba tamchi po mepa chaksawi jini teni ngatso sem go teni oksar zena teni korang sem go ngoma teni te jila lak yore teni ngatso tin nangla te yakbo shisona teni te la tarwa zega yore.
So if the stains of our mind and our afflictions, if we are able to eliminate them, then the luminosity of our minds or our mind's basic nature will be enabled, or this will be able to emerge, and in so doing, this is how we achieve liberation.
Teni tarwa thoya tela ngacho Ramba jinda tini rona tela gorum ngapshi tini sim yores ramba sim dus.
And in terms of achieving liberation, there is a graded path that we need to follow, and there are 3 main stages of this path.
Tini ramba tangbo te pena ngacho tartanda porezi tarta yena tini ngacho mi changwala nyomomba mambo yore nyomomba yopa chakamare ngacho nyomomba ticho ngacho semgana kiyona pena jirdangda kongchoda tini ngargerda dochakda tso nyomomba tso kina tini suso semgana la markepa yongwa tang tini suso semgana la dungor mambo yongwa tang tini semgana la dungor yongba matsit tini libo tone pena kongcho kina tini mala gyab kita tini mala tsik tini dugbo tini mala shapan rawo da yana mi tini thana chokcho ban rawo tini shawa dugbo mambo tini ta yung rezi nyomomba ti kapsa nga cho semla yopi nyomomba da halepa tini top dang damba tini re te ramba tangbo rezi te nga cho tati ti kapte rezi.
So the first stage is the stage that we are in at this present time, and this is a state where we have a lot of afflictions, a lot of negative thoughts such as hatred, anger, pride and desire, and these negative mental states generate a great deal of unhappiness and suffering, and also physical manifestations as well. As a result of these negative mental states, we might find ourselves assaulting someone or speaking nasty words, or even potentially taking the life of someone. So we can say that this state that we are currently in is one where our negative mental states, our negative mental attitudes, our afflictions are very strong. They possess a great deal of power.
Teni ti kapsa kanti zirina ngacho pena sachan dela yang teni yengire teni sat te zum thombo ti teni changmo sacha changmo te chola gangkha teni khawam ba pikap ta namshi changmo imbi kapsa teni lung jabna teni lung te halipa teni rakshat sabo teni rakshat changmo chawo zena raksha halipa rakshat zambo raksha tini changmo re ngaran cho pena lagba yena kamba yena khango yena tesola raksha tini lung raksha ti thuksona tini halipa tini changmo o tini yore ta nga cho tata yena nga cho nyomong ba changma tibu tenja ore.
So we can say that the way our disturbing emotions currently are is rather like being in a cold place, maybe like here in winter, a place that has a somewhat high altitude. It's cold, it's snow, and when the wind blows, the wind is extremely harsh. When it makes contact with our hands or our face, it really makes us feel extremely cold. And we can say that at the present time, our afflictions are harsh, just like this.
Teni ti kapsa ngarang chogo teni tapada, nyangjeda, sherbda, teni teso gewa gshoko teni semta so tamche pope nyam chongchong re teni top chongchong re ze. Teni jedang da kongcho da nyomong ba teso chama halai pa top chimbo yimbi nerkap teni re.
And you could say that the state that we are in presently is one where our virtuous qualities or virtuous attitudes, such as faith, compassion, and wisdom, are in a relatively weak and feeble state, whereas our negative thoughts and emotions, such as anger and hatred, are in a robust and strong state.
Tini ngarancho serum korwa toma mepani tarta parta tini nyomumba jangyo nuli nyomumba jangyo shini tini shongi kabre tini tarta yena ngarancho tini nyomumba jangyo re tini nyomumba de ngarancho jangyo ko dagbore tini is.
We can say that from the beginningless time, from the beginning of cyclic existence up until the point that we are now, that we have been the slaves of these negative, afflictive emotions, and that they have been like our feudal lord.
Tini ngacho mang chi shuti tini ngacho nyomung ba tini jangyo ko dagboti tini ngacho la tini dungur mambo zo kavli mambo tat tini ngarancho ko lerka mambo le kavli mambo jabna tini njevte so thamchipo tini makash pe na ngacho kavli jabni gormo mambo sak tini lerka mambo lena ta lokhashi ge jini ngacho shiwi jini tini chama igni ro gore jiji thobje thobya yo mare pe na tenra bo shini kavli mambo tini ngacho la nyung kavli jab ji tini khorang tini shege yo re rete ina ngacho yo zambalang la yong ke mang chi shuti ti go yo mare.
So that we are laboring under a feudal lord who makes us suffer in this way, suffer by undertaking all kinds of action or all kinds of work in order to serve our afflictions. For example, accumulating a lot of money, but then ultimately dying in a few years and not seeing the results of it. The fact that in fact we are laboring under a lord who controls us in this way is not something that the majority of people understand.
Tani ta nga chom mnyongshi shigtini te hako sumaraze nga chola tini nyomong ba ga tini nga chola dungur mambo tini ta gand nga cho tini dungur tini mambo nyong go ya te zo nyomong ba de ren de nyomong ba de nga cho changyok tini che gand te yindi tini nge tele ta nge tele changyok che ga manje ta nga nge yin rambo tini zela changyok she so ta nge changyok she ga man ta nge nyomong ba lan thapsu che ga yin sambi tini samlo tini jedi tini tela ngimjong ze yores.
A small minority of people, however, do understand what is happening. They understand that their afflictions are causing a great deal of suffering for them and that they are ultimately a slave to their afflictions. And in essentially resolving that they are not going to, or I am not going to, or one is not going to be a slave to these afflictions anymore, that one is not going to be a slave to this overlord any longer, that one is going to enter into struggle against this overlord. This is the generation of renunciation.
Tini te di kapsata ngacho nyomong balan thapsu che ge yin ze ne tini semtak japare rete yena ta sar ge ngacho ta nyomong balan thapsu shi ba ngu chik bare ma tok ba tarong leka ka ge le yo mare tini ti kaptila tini ngimjong ko samba zi ge res.
Of course, making the resolve to enter into combat or struggle against this, against our afflictions, is the beginning of the process. From at this point in time, we are just making the resolve. We haven't yet started to undertake concrete action in respect of this goal. However, when we do generate this resolve, when we begin to do so, then this is when we begin to generate the mind of renunciation.
Teni nga cho nyamlim shi ne teni ngondro ta to so rembe nyamlim shi ne nyamlim yak bozu shi teni shi na teni nyama chigla nga cho teni te sim go teni ngo nga cho kongla sha pa te teni tong ro re teni te tok so na ta nga cho ndo na la tong ba ni ko tok ze go re tong ba ni ki tok ze na ndgre teni jogba chimbo tok ze na ndgre kan ze na ndgre teni tong ro re teni tong ro ni kap te la teni nga cho te korum ramba ni pa te re nyomong ba mar me pa chia ramba ni pa te re.
So based on this resolve, if we enter into practice and practice according to the proper graded path by completing the preliminary practices, then we will ultimately reach a point where we recognize the basic nature of our mind, whether this is as the sutras render it, as recognizing or realizing emptiness, or whether or not, or regardless of whether we describe the same state of realization according to the language of the Dzogchen teachings or other teachings. In any case, at this point in time, it is possible to realize the nature of our mind, and this is when we enter into stage 2 of the path of liberation.
Teni di kapsa nga tsu nyomong batang tapsupshi ni nga tsu nyomong bali teni gyarka gyachab jibchi thambata teni nga tsu thobares.
And by the time that we have reached this second stage of the path of liberation, we can say that we have succeeded in our struggle against our afflictions to an extent of approximately 40%.
Yeah, teni di kapsa nga tsu gyarka gyachab jibchi thobati nga tsu tharwa gyachab jibchi thobares. Tharwa gyachab gyayona Tarwa nangni teni gyachab jibchit thobaresi gyarkab gyachab jibchit thobzena dongchik pares.
Ganji sona chokablanga gomasos.
Tarwa ga 40% da teni thobaresi tarwa gyachab jibchit thobze yangna teni ngaso gyarka nyomong batang tabni gyarkab jibchit gyachab jibchit thobzena dongchik pares.
Lase. Okay. So this 40% that we just spoke of, we can say it is a 40% victory in our struggle against our afflictive emotions, or we can also say it is a 40% achievement of the goal of liberation. Regardless of how we put it, it means the same thing.
Teni ti kapsa nga tsu nyamnyungde teni kandizirezena nyomongba kyegrewezena tarongyo nyomongba kyegreze nyomongba jerdang kyegre khongcho kyegre tin dochakta ngargerta tsu sama kyegreze kyegrete yena teni ta nyomongba tela khorangla teni khorang ko topshikte teni ti kapsa mepa chak sarwares.
So at this point in time, do we still generate thoughts or afflicted thoughts? At this point, we still do. So thoughts of hatred, of anger, of desire, of pride, these will still continue to arise in our mind. However, they will no longer have the same power or strength that they once originally did.
Teni ti kapsa teni gandizerezena pena chamso tongkir tarta ga long tawarezi tarta ngamo gomo long yona teze tangmo rawo nduwa yina teni gengkan rawo teni kyak bozre menduwa long gyagona taron teze tangmo rawo yore pena tenra bores
공단 캠프 양자 손에 죽서
참소 종치르나 고고바 사찬도 네 어야 teni 양후 천라 tarta teni ngamoda gomo teni long gyamna teze tangmo yo nduwazi yina teni gengkan rawo teni menduwa
So we can liken the power or the strength of our afflictive thoughts in stage 2 to the morning or evening wind in Salt Lake City at approximately this time of the year. So even though it's a little cool, it feels a little cool, nevertheless it's nowhere near as cold as it presumably is in the middle of winter.
Tinyo moba korang kini tini paran rogre tini korang mahto ko yar kini tini paran rogre paran roya mahto ba ti nga chola nyomong ba ti nga chola semgna la dengwer mambozo anda da ni market ba mambozo anda yana nyomong ba ti top nga cho mela jabri go anda da tini shikin tini cha ni shithap ga mare korang yar kini tini paran rogre.
So at this point in time, disturbing emotions and thoughts will continue to arise, but as they arise, soon they will pass. They will arise and then they will disappear. It will no longer be the situation that disturbing thoughts and emotions arise and then that they cause us a great deal of suffering, and that due to this suffering we then do a lot of negative things. At this point in time, the negative mental states and emotions will arise, but then they will pass easily.
Teni ti kapsa nga tso teni ta nyomo ba ga changyo re teni nga tso changyo la teni changjur yachab jibji tamba ti kapsa top tsar re ti kap ga nyomo ba ti nga tso shikin chenpu zo top mares.
So at this point in time, we will have achieved approximately a 40% victory in respect of these disturbing emotions and mental states. And at this point in time, the negative thoughts and mental states will no longer have a great deal of power or strength over us.
Tani ti kapsa ta nga tso o ta tharwaze ya tin nizire samba so so nyamnyung go hakon ro re.
And at this point, it will also be possible for us to have a direct experiential understanding of what liberation is like.
Teni ngama yena ngarang la nyomong ba chi ke una teni nyomong ba ti ngarang changering khorwa ngana la chang khorwa ngana la dum teni ngarang rawa me ba che gare ngama yena nyomong ba ke una teni tata nyomong ba ti ri ke una te khorang ngarang ngala rawa me ba ti ri chi ma tha pa o khorang rang la teni ti toshik me ba teni zi ta chang de o ta ngarang teni nyomong ba nang ni thar kan de samba do teni nga zo nyamnyung go yung gore.
So to start with, when afflictive thoughts arose in our minds, they caused us a great deal of suffering and made us bound in samsara. They subjugated us. They rendered us in a state of unfreedom. However, by the time we reach this stage 2, when these thoughts arrive, they no longer affect us in this way. And although they may continue to arise, they don't have a great power over us. And as a result of this, it is possible for us to directly experience liberation.
Teni ti kapsa nga tso teni ta gum gyawya ta teni teso la nga tso labar ta teni ga chu yung gore. Teni per na tartan rapo ina nga tso gum gyab gona te tsa kabo re sam te tsa kamo re sam ni teni sam gandwa. Ti kapsa na teni nga tso o ta gum gyab na nga tso chumri yakpo thong gandu nyomong ba me pap shi thap gandu ta nga rang gum gyab go sam ni gum yakpo gyab gore. Ti kapsa nga tso la kyo rang gum ma gyab zena teni gum gyab gore. Teni nga tso ti kapsa teni nga tso teni gum gyapi thola yarji te pe mjokbo yung gore.
And when we reach this stage, we will find ourselves experiencing a new sense of enthusiasm for and enjoyment in meditation. Where we are currently, meditation is something that doesn't necessarily come so easily to us. However, once we really start to have direct experience of the results of meditation, our meditation practice, we will generate a sense of joy in meditating, a sense of enthusiasm for meditation, such that even if someone were to say to us, don't meditate, we would still want to do it. So at this point in time, our meditation practice develops very quickly.
Ya deni ti kapsa nga so o ta nga khamba chimbo yo mayo me ngarang la teni langkhor teni jigbo te so yo mayo me ngarang la tabdi zo nan jign tu ta nga gum gyab ke ngarang la ndili gaz mnduk samne teni sam yong gore ti kapsa.
And when we reach this stage, we won't be concerned about whether or not we have a fancy house or not, or a fancy car or not. Just having something simple and convenient will be enough for us. We will be concerned to spend most of our time in meditation practice. And so this is the second stage on the path of liberation.
Teni gum gyabna mantani gum gyabna teni nyomong ba te lhama yo ba te choyang me ba changjo gore teni pe na zogba chimbo ra teni gum thamna na lama yakpo tam chat teni zogba chimbo suso rang yang nyamli yakpo shi thamna na pe na nga cho mashi sanchol la teni te nyomong ba changma chawa ni me pa re ro ti kapsa nga cho nyomong ba jini chawa ni me wa tinji ren ro gore sem ga na la nyomong ba kya me pa tinji chang ro gore.
Proceeding from here, we need to continue in our meditation practice, and potentially at this point, if we can find a qualified teacher, practice the Dzogchen teachings or other teachings, and in practicing them well, it is possible that we can achieve a state where our afflictions and disturbing mental states are completely eliminated.
Teni ti kapsi nyumung ba kina karte tezi kina perna karnda tawa liuxin zena ko karnda. Oya tinjin rao tong ma tok ba teni yo mare si teni te ma to yo mare teni kali teni te yang me ba chakare teni tarwa ngoma te to songre te rimba simba deres.
So by this stage, or in this stage, if we do experience from time to time some disturbing thoughts or emotions, if we do from time to time experience their arising, they will just be like a shooting star shooting past us. They won't last for a very long time. In fact, they will only arise for a very, very short time. And at this stage, it is possible that we achieve complete liberation, and this is the third stage of the path to liberation.
Teni nga tso sim de la nguni changni nyam de jongder nguni changni sheji yore zi te nga tso jongder shena nga tso nyam yung go soso ha go yung gore thana dawa khashi le nyam ti jongder ma shina dawa khashi na la te yarjin ro re te nga tso jongder tsawane ma shina lo mambo lo jachang mambo na jiwe chirdik ma to yo mare zi teni jongder te tsa na teni nga tso sim de la pe yarji chimbo ro yore zi.
By actually engaging in training our minds through different meditation practices, it is possible for us to see great development. Even a series of several months of diligent practice will enable us to see significant development in our Dharma practice. If we don't engage in the concrete task of training ourselves, however, then even hundreds of years will not see us become any better. In fact, our state will only become increasingly worse.
Bog teni sang nyamse linken teni lama nyamlin yapo yonken so kare zegrezena teni gum gu yarjin roluk tela teni rimba sim yore teni ta rimba tambo pe na gum nyamlin yapo shinken teni harchun shinken o chundi yapo shinken teni zigena na nyima re khanda teni yarji yongore pe na khasang re terang gagare terang le sanyin gagare nyima re la yarji yo teni songore ze an tambo inna.
So in the Vajrayana tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, advanced practitioners describe meditative practice as potentially happening in 3 stages, or in 3 ways. That is, the first, where, and this relates to practitioners who are quite diligent and industrious in their practice. It's possible for them to see every single day results in their practice, changes, development in their practice. That is, today, tomorrow, and the next day all manifest signs of development.
Tani nyamlin shenken ang nipa zina tani nyama re yarji yung che ha ko mari nyama re shinde yarji yo mari da yana dawa re yarji yo re dawa ngamali tarig dawan dali dawan jigma ga ndu samban ro dawa re shinde tani yarji yung gores.
So this first group of diligent practitioners are the best kind of group, or the best caliber of practitioner. The second rank of practitioner might not see signs of advancement in their practice every single day, but they will be able to every month or so. So that is, their practice this month will be different and will show signs of development compared to where they were last month and then the month before that, and so on.
Tani nyamlin shenke ang simba zigena temi tama dikshu zigena tani nyama re yarjin ro ya tani yomare dawa chire yarjin dindizin ro ndu samba tindi koji yomare yina lori yarjin ro o nanangli nga talu ga ndu sa talu le yang tani sampo nga tani ota lo ngamali nga talu ga talu le yang jima ga tindi lori khorang nyamnyung ko tone tani yarji ngarang yarjin ro ndu samba te go yore te gum jab nyamlim shinken kanti dukbo zigena lori yarjin ro chita korang nyamnyung ko re.
And the third caliber of meditative practitioner, that is, generally speaking, the worst caliber, nevertheless, or might not see signs every day and might not see signs of progress every month, but certainly every year they will see signs of progress. So based on their experience, they will be able to see that their practice this year is stronger than it was last year, and their practice last year is stronger than the year before that. So this is something that even the worst kind of meditation practitioner can perceive in their practice. That is signs of advancement from year to year.
Then I told Zipula Jean Derchinkan Mambo Yoris, the Lamkala Mambo Jinkandata, then the Lister Jankanda, then the Kasakawala, then in Tonjindoazi, Mambondozi. Yenang so sim gotola, then Jean Derchinkan, that's a new red.
So in terms of physical training of our bodies or the physical exercising of our bodies, there are many different ways that we can do this. We can run, or we can work out in the gym. Everywhere we look, we see people engaging in physical exercise. However, the number of people who engage in training or exercising their minds is relatively small.
They remember somebody raising us over the Gumyam Jamni Numumba Mepa Shibi remember somebody the caps, the Ningasunguni, Tony Jarka, the Nigacha Javu, the Nitikaps Tobares.
So this stage 3, when we completely eliminate all afflictions, then this is a state of 100% victory.
Then it teacups, then it angaso country and or Naso Kalandroni de go resina. Young also share the me Nanda, the Nil Haga Nanda, the Ro Nala Nanda, young also Yankir Shir Young go is such a titola.
And where do we go from here? Do we go back to the human realm? Do we go to the realm of the demigods? Do we go to the animal realm? Where do we proceed from here?
Yena, Tinning also Tikapsan also young with any Muir Kakares, then it top towns in a shenfen. Top tang Kakares, such and titola, Tata Yongwatan, Gini Yoani, Kakares.
So even though it is necessary for us still to take on a form in one of these states, our identity or the way that we do so will be different from the way that we originally did while still bound in cyclic existence.
Then it teacups don't Muir Gangatola Yongwaresena. Then it's Simjin Namla, then young Taraga Lamton, Garan Suso Tarvi Lam, Yakbo Top Tarvi Gini, then me Mambola Taraga Lam Yakboton Bisher, then young Baresi teacups.
The primary difference will be the purpose with which we return to one of these states. And after having achieved liberation for ourselves, our primary purpose will be guiding and showing others the path towards liberation.
Then it capsity mutisola, then partana, the mutisotini, Shertangaman Rapo, Tindin Rapo, Rapo, Incan, Tindian Yores. Kajikachina, Shertangam Malayang, Digbunda, Tindian Yores. The Kajina Halibaga Yakbopena Sanji Shajata Bandao, Tindi Yang Yore, then in Jamada Mambo Goniore, Yena, Koso Muirchik by the Tamatini, Natsola Tarvi Lamtum Bishop to Yumbat Shatak.
And those who, having achieved liberation, return to cyclic existence to help others take on a variety of appearances. Many appear as just normal people, others appear as even worse off than normal people, while others have extremely fine appearances, such as that of the Shakyamuni Buddha. In any case, the purpose or the objective of all of these beings will be the same, and that is to guide others out of the sufferings of cyclic existence.
Then it teacups, then the Koranso, the same Ganala, then the Numumba Chigang Yomares, Tamatsavan Mepashi Tarare, Yena, then the teacups on Nilhayore, Cherizana Nito Nipodi Numumba de Mare, Chitin Yarji, Yarji Chimboto Yores, and Niti Sherbrezit, and Sherpta Yarji Niboto Yore, them out of Numumba Samatinitini, Mepashi Tarati, Gini, Maumbalat in Numobatiso, Koranga Sound. Savane Mepashi Japi Jimson Gita, Maumbala Numuba Namaki Marit.
And beings in this state will have completely eliminated all afflictions from their mind stream. The only two qualities that remain are or will be compassion, great compassion, and wisdom. In addition to these, there are no afflictive emotions or mental states whatsoever. In having achieved liberation, the very seeds for these afflictions will have been completely eliminated.
Teni ti kap ka teni nga chogo namba da kandi zrezina nga chogo nawa chorwa de kandi zrezina teni thakba chimbum dor de gyan jin zhuang yan lun zhe ge dor de thakba chimbum dor de gyan kana la da jarsab shambang gombo go teni songre teni ti nang la chka chi song yo re
Yang je sonne choke blang ya bu ko ma song.
ti kap de nga chogo kandi zge yo nga chogo nature da kanda zrezina dor de gyan thakba chimbum dor de gyan
Di jazna?
jin zhuang yan lun zhe ge jin zhuang yan lun thakba chimbum dor de gyan zge de jarsab shambang gombo go songre yo 다 양나 도디자 마지나 쪽 야습 샴방 공부 같은 이츠가씩 송요래지 디코르데 간디지엔 데닝네 티샤요.
Okay, and the state of mind that we experience in this state has been referred to in a specific scripture, and Kempo would like to quote from this or describe this state of mind as it is described here.
데니 티 돈다 담보드 간레지나 강거 추근 게마르타 똑상지 티페나 무디 추탐치 보더니 게마다 말음 따와 똑차르지 그런 거 똑송 똑차르비 지니 데니 거랑라더니 춘도서 담정아서 운직된 거 나완다서 담치 보 거랑라 등거만 잠잠만 보용하다 거랑라 마치 바용하다 또 자와니 시탑고 말에 거랑 거 데니 나완다서 참아 데니 벨람 참모 멀음 따와 연바 데니 시차르바레스
So the first line is, upon reaching this state, all phenomena will have been recognized as illusory and dreamlike in nature. And as a result of this, no phenomena will be able to produce experiences or feelings of unhappiness and suffering. Everything will just be like dream experiences that we have in the nighttime.
데니 츠칸 니바드 기와기 무차르조 따르토네소네 거랑 그 기와렘바디 베나가초 데니 데니 기 무차르제나 셔랑 공유엔 데니 셔랑 치그나니 따모타니 양 셔랑 치그나라 따모타 양 데니 랑가 치그나라 따모타 차디 양 랑가 치그나라 따모타 양다오 덴진다오 자마토바 거랑라 데니 등르자네 요마레다 거랑 데니 셈징 것돈 줍차디 양 잠바잘란도니 셈징 것돈 줍 Teni drip sarti yang, teni jambazalando ne simjing ton drip. Teni je korang meto ko langka chik lando anda ut nawa mato chora teni mato ba chora dungmir korang cawa ne yomares.
And from this point, working for the benefit of others will be like moving between one beautiful garden looking at the flowers to another beautiful garden looking at the flowers, or moving from one part of the road to enjoy the sights to another part. That is to say that a liberated being will be able to move from benefiting one or benefiting one type of person or one group of persons to another, and these experiences will only produce a sense of happiness. They will not engender any sense of suffering.
Tenim juru ti tang gpetina nda nyomo dingwar tak jikpa meze teni korang simjing gaton jipiner kamna korang kangar mambon chat tendi yena yang teni tendi yembi kaptang teni yang kangar ta mamchap pa teni yang chi chakin yakbo yongwa teni ton yakbo yongwa tsu kap gang yena yang shlogo korang la chakin zomba ta manzomba kangar yoba ta kangar meba teni kanris yona te korang ka semgna la teni nyomomba teni jikpa chawane yo mari nyomomba chawane yo mari de korang simjing gaton jabala teni ki muchalan ro anda o teni nawa o deja kepa teni teni yangare soni songyores.
And at this point, regardless of whether one encounters great difficulties great difficulties and challenges in working for the benefit of others, or whether one has a very smooth time and good conditions that support working for the benefit of others, regardless of whatever the case in question is, there will be no fear towards one's situation, and no afflictive thoughts or emotions will arise in the process of working for others. So this is liberation. This is what we mean when we talk of liberation.
다 땡지 가초라 땡지 타라 돌소나 간지득 소소고 삼로타나 께보요 사리.
So what does everyone think about this state of liberation? Does it sound like a pretty nice state?
야, 땡지 가초 강바 직보고나라 땡니 랑코르 직보탄 잠발랑라 땡니 여코 촌심조 땡지 시나 가사레타 땡지 타라 돌소나 가사레스.
So would you prefer to live in a splendid house or drive a really nice car and travel the whole world, or to exist in a state of liberation?
야, 땡지 타라 톰나 가고삼나 땡니 가초 다 레카레고 그레스.
So if we would prefer to achieve this kind of liberation, then from this point on we need to start to do some real work.
Teni tenji ge teni thara thomna teni ga ge samna ta ga ge samna nga so sem ge nala ga ge samni dena phant go mare teni ta nga so ngosum go re leka din ngosum go re.
Just thinking that achieving this state of liberation would be nice doesn't really achieve anything in itself. It's important that we actually begin in concrete action to work towards this goal.
다 tenji ge teni thara thoya ti nguni changni yore ji te nga so murang ni pala teni nga so susu rang jongdr chini teni tenji re je pe jana nga so lipo jongdr china pena karn cham kan rapota teni nyenchar jina kare teni tela pena janakta ta sola teni nyenchal teni jene teni ti labata kama tam chupo nyimu teni doa tela chuse rezena te tron chapna teni koran kat tham kan soda te so teni lipo pe nyembore ni oya tendra bota te so te yang te koran so jondr china nga so lipo tendi jendo top kan duaze nga so jondr chi matam kan zu jondr chi men kan zu tendi chicham chi top kan duaze lipo go torni.
This state of liberation is one that really and truly exists, and it's one that we really and truly can achieve through our own efforts and through engaging in the proper process of training. So just as through physical training it's possible for gymnasts to train themselves into an extremely supple and flexible state where they're able to perform all kinds of physical feats, a person who doesn't train themselves physically in this way is simply not able to do these things.
Teni lister ka tholi yang tendi ga jishan yundong zawa tendi lister ka jo hale ba nga so me shirtang ba mo so teni lister tendi shi matha ba tendi ga teni lister te so yang teni ko so lipo jondr shi na teni tab go duaze nga so lipo jondr machine kan za ka tendi tawani phok mo duwa similar sam yang phok mare nga so tendra bore teni lipo la tendi jondr shi ji yore 대당 잡고 가서 심라양 대당 집바 용들 지진도지.
And there are other examples of extreme sports where through engaging in a process or a course of training that people are able to undertake all kinds of unimaginable physical feats, the kinds of physical feats that we without engaging in this training are really not even able to dream of being able to do. And the same goes for our minds. It's necessary that we train them, that we engage in a process, a path of training them.
Oya tenita ngaso damka shi go reze ngaso damka karip shi kyorzena teni pena ngaso gum gyapi tharwa thopa te tang teni jiting kan nangla ngaso teni chi jeda longshun do so la teni longshun nen chowa kepo shia oya tinti ni do wa yana ti nane ngaso teni te pena ngarang la tharwa go ngarang la teni chowa kepo to morgo mena ndikre ngarang tharwa chi bo de yona te nge choko yenge ti to la batsun shege yenge zeranda o te ngaso damka chigres teni yang khashis gno tanga tharwati tomato me nga thara yona chok mena chok nga thara tomato ngarang lan chowa kepo de go ngarang chowa kepo yona te gang dik samba teni te damka chigres teni min do pa chimbo te so ngarang la nika de go ngarang la tharwa yang top go teni ten chowa kepo de go nika go zin teni zenken korchi yoreze teni kyaran so samlo tana gang dam gyenje.
So we are presented with two choices. The first choice is one whereby we make a choice to engage in practice in order to achieve liberation, and the second choice is one where we make a choice for worldly existence with the goal of achieving a very comfortable and pleasurable state of material existence. So these are essentially the two choices that we are faced with. One whereby we essentially forsake striving for a really high level of worldly existence and rather put our energies into achieving liberation, and the second where we don't make liberation our goal but rather decide that what we want to do is focus on achieving a pleasant life in this life. Of course, there are some people with very great desire who want both of these things. They want liberation and they want a very nice worldly existence. What does everybody think out of these choices that we're presented with? Which is the best choice?
ngaso sig dam go gres yang na ngaso teni ta tharwa ngaso yo ma me ngarang teni te chowa ke boyo nan jigres gre te na ngaso jiktin lami thakba nyamlim che go gres yang na ngarang teni ta jiktin kon chowa te ngarang la mambo yo ma me ngarang ka tharwa chi bo dub gre te na jipsim malari panda o she go gres teni te mayin te ngarang la teni tharwa yang ngarang la thop go yo te nga go ndu then choya ngala go ndu ta niti ngala go zina na yang acho dam ka chi gore teni kanong zu dam go gores.
So we need to make a choice of one choice out of these various choices. So the first one, whereby we decide not to aim for liberation, but rather for a enjoyable and pleasurable existence in this life. And if we do this, then if we make this choice, then this is a choice that corresponds to the level of the worldly vehicle of motivation. If, on the other hand, we decide not to focus so much on worldly and material goals and instead direct ourselves to the goal of liberation, then this is a choice corresponding to that of the kind that Milarepa made. And then there is the third choice, as we just said, that is one where an individual wants both of these things. So presented with these different choices, which should we make?
I
think that to make a choice or make the same choice that Milarepa did is in fact very difficult. And probably none of you would say that we completely don't want to pursue liberation. I think that probably the majority of us would say that we want both.
Yeah. Ta yinna teni ngama sarji shakja tapa korang jigyo pi kapse teni sarji ge teni chusong pi kapse teni jagar la teni sechi tong zate la teni jarbuz yores ti teni sarji chondan de la teni korang ga rewaz ton yore ta rewaz ton yores.
During the time of the Shakyamuni Buddha, there was a king and he made a request of the Buddha.
De korang ga gareze gareze na de korang jarbore korang chowa halipa kipo yoreze de indi korang ga sarji la zene de korang ga ngin chowa tini ngarang ga longshut teni chowa kipo teni longshut to sama markirni teni tharwa teni lamla teni chondro gore teni zenana ngandro mense ngandro mense pena ngarang deni ngarang ga jarsan di tokne teni ngarang waz ka kiwalen sona le malin chume ngarang ga teni ngarang doyun tamjepo longshu tamjepo parpang ni nga tharwa drabzena nga drabga menze teni shayores.
And what the king said to the Shakyamuni Buddha was, of course, the king, being a king, had a very opulent standard of living. He had a very luxurious standard of living. And what he said to the Buddha was, if you lay out the path to liberation as being one where I have to give up all of my worldly existence, then I'm not going to enter into the path.
Teni tenji ge tarwa teni tabshis oyozini sangji la teni korang ge shayore sangji ge yore ta kyo tenji zi na teni kyorang sang dorji takba lobsone den song yores.
And he said to the Buddha, is there a path or a practice that I can follow where I can achieve liberation but at the same time not have to give up my opulent worldly existence? And the Buddha replied to him that yes, there is. You can practice the Vajrayana. So all of us, therefore, need to study and practice the teachings of the Vajrayana.
Teni sangak dorje thaba tharwa tingi thop kyen ngi lamsang tarta ngi ngonz kyen sambitini samlo tendiz ke sona samlo tambo tendiz ke sona telang nimjong zegres.
So today in making making a resolve of renunciation, or today in generating renunciation, we need to do this by making a very strong determination, a very strong resolve that from today onwards we are going to work towards liberation through the Vajrayana teachings, and that we are going to begin right now.
Teni yang atso yang goa lenyi shi sonan ru kemari zinga zo dorji takbal ten yamlin shi na ta nga zo jiji go samari nyomong bando chakyo na jerdang ona gari yo na choksari te kyo yo samare samna te mari zid.
Te yang sonan chok na
nga zo sanga dorji takbal zi ten yamlin shi na tobat te la yang goa lenyi shi na goni shi na yak nyang kemari zi. Pela nga zo sanga dorji takbal nyamlin shi na ta nga zo do chakyo na kyo samari jerdang yo na kyo samari
Of course, in being practitioners of the Vajrayana, this doesn't mean that there's no problem with generating desire or having hatred, or that it doesn't matter the extent of our afflictions. This is not what we're saying at all.
Teni ngarang tsogo nyomungba teni ndochakda, nyomungba jerdangda, nyomungba ngargerda chakdo tetsu nga tso sangak dorje takbaga teni mar mepapshi gozega yore, nga tso ndoga yang bot parchun takba ndoga yang mepapshi gozega re, nyantuga yang ten mepapshi gozega re te njabore kyapari yaw mares.
That in fact we need to eliminate our afflictions, eliminate our desire, our hatred, our pride, our jealousy, etc. This is something that the Vajrayana teachings emphasize, as do the Sutric teachings, as do the teachings of the basic vehicle. There is no difference between the different traditions in this respect whatsoever.
Shertang nga tsu tanang nga tsu yang shepayin, pena nga tsu soso rangla tini chakin yo na azon chowa yakboz go tone teni nyamlin shina ya te njukre te ngaro yo mareze azon do parchin takba ya te zegre ma to ban do parchin takba ga teni chawani mazi wa teni mare yena sangla taron titola yang tapshi chaparwa yore.
So as we said this morning, even in the sutras, it is said that one is still able to engage in spiritual practice even if one has a high standard of material conditions in which one lives. So this is something that is said in the Sutric teachings, and in the Vajrayana teachings, in addition to this, there are extra or more extraordinary methods that are provided in addition to this.
Teni teni samlo te ngaso jella ti tamja te yakbozo oyong moyong tar gogore o teni nge teni ge tharwa ngaso kongla shapi tharwa ti ta ngarang ge chin di tolang nge yindam banda ngarang ge teni topgo ngarang ge tarta ni ngarang ge ngonjing ni tani shawat drip ko yin ngarang ka lojong she ko yin ngarang nyamlin che ko yin samne tani tamcha yakbo zitini yo sona tani nga songoni tangne ngimjong ko samba yakbo jilla kiware tani nyama tini zongti nga so tharwa ga lamla komba chik tani po charsong tani nga so tharwi lamla yaran ro charware.
So, whether or not we have made this vow, we have made this resolve in our own minds, is something that we need to inspect for ourselves. That is, whether or not we have made the vow to achieve liberation in this lifetime, starting now at this very moment by learning the Buddhist teachings and putting them in this practice to achieve liberation. And if we truly have made this promise, if we truly have made this vow in our minds, then we will have genuinely aroused renunciation or generated renunciation, and in so doing we will have made our first step in the path of liberation.
Tani tari kongda nga tsung nimjung ko samba zikite shapare te na tini nimjung ko samba te la ta kandi zigla zego re nimjung ko samba te chindi zigla nimjung ko samba zegre ze te ndordi zngotru shekayin.
So I'd like now to give a brief explanation of renunciation. What is it that we mean when we refer to this mind of renunciation?
Tani nga tso nimjung zena, tani nga tso porkak nala nimjung zeyate chisak tondagre zena, ni zena ngeparta ze, ta nga ngeparta ze, njung zena njowa ze, te indi ta nga ngeparta njowa yin ze jitere, nga ta enjo menjo tenji mayimba, nga ngeparta njowa yin ze jiteri zela nimjung zegre, nimjung zena ngeparta mjungwa, ngeparta mjungwa zena ngeparta njowa, tenji zela zegre.
So the word for renunciation in Tibetan is made up of two components. The first component, or the first syllable, nge, refers to needing to do something of necessity. That is something that we must do or essentially must engage in. The second part of the compound word that represents renunciation in Tibetan is jungwa, which means to go. And so when we combine these two, to resolve to go or to necessarily go, then we convey the meaning of renunciation. That is to say, there is no wavering or hesitation about whether we should go. It is a firm resolution, a firmly resolved determination that we will and must go or proceed.
Tani ngi partan rowa zena kanglan rowa yin zena kang nin rowa yin ze kanglan rowa yin zena tani kanglan rowa yin zena tani ngarang tharwi lamla ngan rowa yin ze tani kang nin rowa yin zena tani kamsam khorwa ga nang ne nga cho tarta nga cho kamsam khorwa ga nala yore tani nga ta kamsam khorwa ga nala teli degmen ta nga yin rambu ndi kamsam khorwa ga nala tar nga yan chut tani te yin rambu desong ta teli nga kamsam khorwa nala degmen ta nga tharwi lamla ngan roin sambi sambatela tani nimjong zegre.
So where is it that we vow or resolve we must go to or proceed towards? Well, it is the path of liberation that we resolve to enter into. And this involves us generating the thought that for an impossibly long period of time that we have dwelt in the three realms of saglic existence, and that from this point onwards we no longer wish to remain in this state, and that from this point onward we are moving towards or entering into the path of liberation. So this is what we mean when we say renunciation.
Teringa tharwi lamlan ro gobi jimsan ti kang rezena teni jimsan ni reze chikte na nga so tari kongna tarti nga so kongna psha patere tharwa lamla nga so sona teni nga so nyomong bata dungmar ta chama meba shitab gore teni nga ro yen ji te jimsan chig rez.
So, in terms of the reasons for why we should enter into the path of liberation, there are primarily two. The first one that we spoke about before is that by entering into the path of liberation, it is possible for us to completely eliminate all of our afflictions and all of our suffering. So, this is the first reason why we should enter into the path of liberation.
Teni nipati kangarizina ta nga tharwi lavlan rogo gimsen da nga khamsum khoranga nalan duk menzi mendik pi gimsen de kangarizina teni khorwan di nala teni dumur pe mambore khorwan di nala dumur mambore ta pe na khamsum khorwan rowa rigzine nga chu nangba nala teni songore di nala ji pe jishu ngoma den chowa jishu ngoma de kangarizina modang teni la de teni chowa jishu yenjeni teni zege yore Tindi yendi tam daily kyang teni nga chu mun rawo yina teni korkab mangbo yore damkha mangbo yore te na nga chu muti hal leba teni kishu de re te yinna yang teni mala te kewa yore gewa yore nawa yore chiwa yore teni dungur mangbo re dewa yang yore te yina dewa nyong ma to mandu dungur mangbo re tindi yendi ta nga tharwa tomna ga samne teni nan rowi gimsen nipati te re rogowi gimsen
And the second reason for why we should enter into the path of liberation is that the three realms of cyclic existence are plagued with suffering, all kinds of suffering. That is, there are all kinds of afflictions, suffering of different kinds. Within samsara, there are 6 realms of beings, and among these realms, the human realm and the realm of the demigods are considered the most pleasant and the most enjoyable. That is to say, at least within the human realm, there are many opportunities that we have, and there are many choices. Yet at the same time, there is also a great amount of suffering. There's the suffering of birth, of death, of illness, of aging. And so whilst there are some pleasures and happinesses within this realm, there is also a great deal of suffering, and in fact much more suffering than there is happiness. So it's for this reason, or this is the second reason, that we should resolve to enter into the path of liberation.
Teni nga cho tharwi lamlan rogo yenze ngarang semtak cherni ta nga tharwi lamlan rogo yenze na teni chuzn rogo zina nga cho lipotin roze ga marezi lipotin nga cho tarong dinala dena chokore suso kawa ngama kawa yona tela dena chokore nga cho ngama leka kari le yona telena chokore zote nga cho semtin rogo gore.
So when we make a firm resolve to enter into the path of liberation, what is it or who is it that enters into this path? Well, we're primarily not talking about our physical bodies. Our physical bodies can remain where they are, doing the work that they're currently doing. What we're primarily talking is our minds entering into this path. Nga cho nimjung ko samlo tezi ke ta kap se yore pe na nga cho suso leka lamdru shawa lamdru yakbo mayong wan rawo ta teni suso ko sem ko tola dumur yong wan ra ta teni chowa ko tola chikangar ramra yong wan rawo ra tesu kabla teni yang nga cho ta khorwan tin la dumur re nyang bu chu mandu ngarang tharwa thobna gasari ngarang tharwa thob go samni teni sam greze Jeti ina teni te samba tambu marezi te nga cho yang shawa lamro yak po yong teni lipo de thang yong teni yimbi kap sin teni yang nga cho jin do rezi teni tela yang phantok chembo yo marezi. From time to time, we might find ourselves generating a mind of renunciation. That is, when our luck doesn't go very well, when we come across misfortune or suffering, when we encounter different setbacks in life. At these moments, we may feel that, this cyclic existence really is suffering. There's no meaning in it whatsoever, and I would like to orient myself towards liberation. However, this kind of attitude or this kind of resolve is not a stable one. When our luck turns for the better or when we recover our good health, then we forget this resolve entirely. So it's not much use to us.
Teni tendi ending achuta nimjong ko samlo te teni tambu teni yakpo teni ziyong gona pena nga so teni shawa lamdro yak po yung watang teni demo chupo yung nirkabla yang nimjong yo teni shawa lamdro mayong watang demo chupo maimpi nirkab yang nimjong ko sambat yo namjin teni sambat tambu teni yung gore te yung gona kandi she gore zena teni nga so jondarte she gore.
So if we are going to cultivate a stable mind of renunciation, that is one that we can maintain in circumstances of both luck and happiness, as well as circumstances of bad luck and unhappiness, it's necessary that we train ourselves or train our minds.
Teni jongder japjite nga so ngonjo gom zene ta nga so teni pojik namtan la teni lojong shina teni nga so ngonjo namba jersey ngonjo lordok jersey ne teni nga so boke na teni sakya na nyangma na gelge na ta bok chu changma tum ta changma ti chabar chikji yo mare changma teni gom thap ta te so teni chikbare teni te so chiri chini teni gom gore.
And in training ourselves, it is important that we practice or complete the preliminary practices, and specifically the 4 outer preliminary practices. These are a set of practices that all traditions and sects of Tibetan Buddhism value equally, whether it be the Sakya or the Nyingma or the Gelug. There is no difference whatsoever. The 4 outer preliminaries, or the 4 thoughts that turn the mind from samsara, need to be meditated on, contemplated, each one at a time until we have completed them all.
Teni gom kuna kandi gom gogore yang ming mambo zu teni trigore nga so gom bi ner kamna nga so chu sam gogore ta yang na sam nyang ka mare chi chi mapsam baz gogore ta kari gogore zene te ming mambo trigon duz.
Of course, what do we mean here by meditation, or to meditate on the preliminaries? Many people ask this in doing this kind of meditation. Are we allowed to think? Are we meant to be not thinking? What does this kind of meditation entail?
Teni gom tila nga so sum yo pa ha ko gore ze te chik te nga so samlo tang ya re samlo mambo tang ne gom jam ne samlo mambo tang je tendi chik res.
So there are essentially 3 different kinds of meditation. And the first kind is one where we do think, and in fact we do a lot of contemplation. This is the first kind of meditation.
Tani ni pa te tini ta gom jam ne sem ka dang la tini nam tok kang ya me pa shi ne tini chik chik masam ne tini tendi jambu go ne de ya tendi je te gom ni pa te res.
And the second type of meditation is one where we bring our minds into a very calm state without any thoughts whatsoever and abide in this state. This is the second kind of meditation.
Tani gom sambati kang rezena, tani sambata masamba nika maimba, tani sambata masamba nika lindeba. O tendi tere tene te ngatsu tomba nye gom zeanda ta, zogba chimbo gom zeanda tela zegere. Tendi indi shertang teni gom tela tendi rsum yore ze rumudawa sum.
And the third kind of meditation is not one that involves thinking or not thinking. It is a state of abiding, whether it be in a state of giving rise to thoughts or no thoughts. This is emptiness meditation, or meditation according to the Dzogchen teaching. So effectively we can understand meditation methods to belong to one of these 3 different kinds.
Teni tisum gana ne nga so ngonjo kapsa teni gom jawati ka rezena te samlo mambo tang go rezi te samlo tang chit teni nga so ndang mambo jaw samlo mambo tang teni go re yena ti samlo tang ate nga so so rang kang dondu teni mare nga so teni gom gana la nga so samlo ndindi tang go ze te samlo tang sarti teni nga so yigi gana la saru ngonjo gana la saru yore. This ngonjo na la somba ndabo shini teni nga tsu samlo mambo tane tedi gogore.
So the kind of meditation that we practice in the preliminaries is one where we have to do a lot of thinking. This kind of meditation practice involves a lot of reflection and a lot of contemplation. However, this isn't a kind of thinking or contemplation where we simply think about anything that we want to. In the teachings, there are clear instructions about the particular way that we should go about thinking and contemplating.
Teni ti samlo tangsar ti nangla teni nga zo ndi ngonjo nangla te samlo tangsar jiyo mandawa jiyo re te jetela nga zo teni thumungo ngonjo jiyo zegre.
So the 4 specific contemplative exercises that we practice during the preliminaries, there are 4 of them, and these comprise the 4 outer preliminaries.
Teni tangbo to kare zina nga zo tari mutse tarti nga zo mutsende teni pe rentang dang dang ba yamba dang. Teni halipa ga teni nye kawa yamba tari nga zo teni ga mili yakbo zo topa te pe le labo tsawa ne mare. Teni nga zo namgin ha go yo mare nga zo chi le labo teni zi yin sam go yo re te yin le labo zo mare te nga rang zo kewa nga mala teni tsok mambo sa gewa mambo dribne teni go ni teni te topa zi reze te yin nga zo tari ga milinda halipa rentang jan re te yin bi gimtsen te nga zo la damga mambo yo re te nga rang zo gandhi shi na tarwa sangji ga kompang top go na tarwa top go na gandhi yin na te dribna drib chok re damga teni mambo yo bi korkib teni mambo yo bi gimtsen ji
So the first contemplative exercise involves us reflecting on the extremely precious nature of our human existences, our human forms. That is, that it's extremely rare to have this kind of human form, this human rebirth. It's not something that's easily come by at all. Normally, however, we don't regard things in this way. We think it's a relatively normal and easy thing to be a human. However, this is not the case. The fact that we have taken this human form is a direct result of a great deal of positive karma, a great deal of merit accumulated in past existences. And it's on account of the fact that in this human form we have so many choices available to us that we regard it as so precious. We have, for example, the choice of aiming for Buddhahood, for liberation. On account of these opportunities, these choices that we have in our human form, we therefore regard it as extremely precious.
Tene ni pa ta nga zo muli te pen de ga hale pa ni ka tin di je yina tene te martak bare se tene nga zo nyamlin she anda ta lojong she anda ta tene nga zo leka karchim bond so nyert le gore ma to ba nga zo me jima le yin zankur jima ga na la yin dawa jima ga na la yin tene nga ran lo jima ga na la yin tene zene par tene shinjang she na tene korkup te shon ro re ten di njongbo tene nyamlin she go samne tene sam go re The
second contemplative, meditative exercise that we practice is reflecting on the impermanence of our human lives. And that is to say that although this human life, rebirth that we have is extremely precious, it is also very fragile and fleeting. For this reason, it is necessary that we immediately engage in Dharma practice, that we immediately engage in the important work that we need to do. If we continually postpone beginning in our practice till next month or next year or into the future, then it is highly likely that we will miss the chance altogether. So in practicing this contemplative exercise, we appreciate the need to begin engaging in our practice as soon as possible.
Teni sambati akarte tari ngaso teni nyamling yaposhi mathamne teni shisona teni jima teni kork te yo halipat kaborez teni karte ngaso jima teni kork mesona teni tang khorwa na lola teni penanga chum mog chewa le nanda yana teni tondro chewa le nanda kantra shitsari jis chewa lingo re teni chewa lembi ne kamna teni chewa dugbu teni len jana teni dungri ang mambo teni nyongre teni yendi karte mog chewa le na teni anga chu mog loji tola teni dungri yongkhang teni loji mambo re tendawa zaka maung bala yang teni yang ngacola yang logi ngama logi ndawo teni dungur mambo malayo kare chechita mo yopa te cheta teni mola dungur damanda mambo yongore teni yendi teni tso nala kiwa langsong na be teni dungur mambo yongore te yendi ta ngar tari yenda manda ngarang rang dungur kanani tar teni ngarang dungur kanani tarwa machet jima maung banan zambalang la teni dungur teni pena janchig yenanda teni nadi yenanda teni rangshong kap gunjik pa yenanda teni jamanda yongi kapse teni ngarang ti mitsama la teni pandok tongken mitsama par kyup tongken o teni zu shini nga yangkir la yung go sambi teni tamja shini teni go gore teni te samba deres.
So the third contemplative exercise is where we contemplate that if we don't practice well and we die before we are able to really engage in our practice properly, that it is inevitable that it's going to be difficult to have an opportunity like this in the future again, and that we will inevitably take rebirth in some kind of form, and that regardless of what form we take, there is going to be all kinds of suffering. We know that even if we are reborn in a human form, that in the course of human history, that humans have endured all kinds of suffering, and that indeed suffering is a really inherent part of rebirth in the human realm. So based on our reflections of this nature, we therefore generate a really strong aspiration, or we make a very strong resolution to be liberated from cyclic existence, and not just be liberated from cyclic existence ourselves, but that in respect of various kinds of suffering, illness, disaster, etc., that in the future we may return in order to help others who are suffering, to rescue them from these kinds of situations. So in practicing this particular contemplative exercise, we make a strong vow of this nature.
Teni jibati ngacho lijimje tola samlo tane ta ngacho korwandi nangla teni yang makasin te chibondawo teni yang makasin dugbo yang tena mondawo nana ya chipo tendroda teni na yang dugbo teni jamni mayimba teni mambo zioa jimsen de kang teni samlo tangdi teni lijimje sosoranga teni dugpa mergiwa mambo shina teni dugbo yongya tang teni yakbo shina yakbo yongya teni ga naton tela tuyo pati teni samlo mambo tangne teni shigore teni te shitarwi jini ota ngarang korwandi nane yar teni targona teni ngarang je yakbo gong je yakbo yongna teni nrebe yakbo yong gong ma to pa teni ngarang je teni te dugbo takta lene teni ngarang nrebe yakbo yong gozina yong samare samne teni samlo tang gore te samlo tang sar gom thap jipati re.
And the fourth contemplative exercise is one where we reflect on the law of karmic cause and effect. So we reflect on the fact that in cyclic existence there are beings who are happy, there are beings who are miserable. The same goes for animals. There are some that are better off than others. The situation among all beings is not equal at all. And so in performing this contemplation, we reflect on the reasons for this. We reflect on the way that negative conduct produces negative outcomes, and positive conduct produces positive outcomes. And so giving much thought to this particular issue, we, in addition to generating our desire to be liberated from cyclic existence, we also make a strong resolve to engage in positive, to sow positive causes in order to see positive results. That is, we recognize that negative causes will only lead to negative results. And this is the fourth of these contemplative exercises.
Riri layang teni samlo tansar mambo yore teso chiyu gomzang la mi yarlong rata teso nang la mambo ndu teni teso tamche po 인지가 이게 나라는데 되니 나서 인지가 되니 나라 용컨가 되니 라마 초양 망보더니 송고요래 돼서 약보 로종신이 되니 리리리리리 gomgyabni teni nyamling she gore.
And in respect of each of these 4 contemplative meditations, it's important that we do each one by one. And there are, in terms of the specific ways that we go about reflecting, there are very detailed instructions in the words of my perfect teacher, and this is available in English, and there are also many English-speaking lamas who have given teachings on this, and so it's important that we do engage properly in these 4 exercises.
Teni teso chama te nyamle yakbo shina ta nga chu gangdizla gum nimjong ko sambate nam nga chu gum charba rezi nam nga chu gum yakbo te gum yakbo shongda ma shongte nga chu su rang go rewezina te go rezi te nga chu rang mi jambala tre go mare nga chu rang o tang gum te yakbo rendu sambata tarung ne yakbo teni chatang dambaz re mendu sambate te mo rang go rezi.
So in practicing these contemplative, meditative exercises, how do we know when we have generated renunciation? In fact, is it possible to know for ourselves when our mind of renunciation has reached the requisite level? Indeed, this is possible to know for oneself. It's not necessary to ask another person. It is something that we are able to gauge for ourselves when our renunciation has reached an appropriate level.
Teni te Gandhi's rezena ta nga chu tari kona shapatin nga chu ta ngai tharwa de thobna teni yakpondu te tharwa mathubni nga dinin khorwa nga la tarngan rapo shini de na teni nga rang yang dungmar mangbo yonggendu teni ngeme jamba la phamba yang teni thokkomendu tonda chichi mendu nyambo mendu te na teni nga rang yinda menda nga teni tharwa thobgo mendu teni tharwa de thobsona teni nga rang yang teni kirga na chi dungmar nyomo ba changma mepa chakare teni ngemi janla yang teni pamba jachimbo teni drip thapkundu te yana ta nga yinda manda teni tharwa thopgo samni teni samlo teni semtak teni tangni teni ta semka tangni teni semtak chopa teni zi yong charti yong yona teni nga cho ta ngimjong yapo gom charsung ngondro jo to gom charsung zena jigre te mayona teni yang de samlo tango re.
And we know that we have generated a firm mind of renunciation when we have really made, or we really have a very strong resolve to achieve liberation. That is, we recognize that remaining here in cyclic existence has absolutely no meaning whatsoever, and that in addition to having no meaning whatsoever in this state, we're not able to be of effective assistance to other beings. It's absolutely necessary that we enter into the path of liberation, and in so doing, by so doing, we will be able to eliminate our own afflictions and suffering, and at the same time be of true benefit to others. So when we really have a very strong resolve to aim for liberation, to work towards liberation, and this is a fervent and strong desire or resolve that comes from the depths of our heart, then we know that we have successfully generated a mind of liberation.
Ota tendi sheni gom yapo jamni tendi shena tendi nga so jela ngimjong yapo ke yongore tendi ngimjong de ke charti tendi nga so kamsum korwala e majimba zikita tendi yapo yongore ta kamsumla yena ngimjong mun tendi tsawa nga la tendi songdo tendi yendi tendi kamsumla majimba zi tendi rowa rikchik na ne ta zangshuti yakshuti motang lhani bore teni motang lhani bola machak pa majimba tendi yona te jamba chola majimba te nga so hanshik yongore te yendi oda nga so mi nang la yang demo chepon rawo kap si yongdu lag nang la yongdu ina ta te tondak chembo mendu tele ngarang thara thumna gangdu samba samlo de yakbo z mayong go wart teni yangne yang to gom gyap go re.
So when we are able to truly generate a mind of renunciation, to generate a genuine mind of renunciation, then our practice in parting from our attachment to worldly existence will come along well. And that is in generating this, and this is what we refer to in the second of the parting, parting from the four attachments. If you're attached to samsara, you do not have renunciation. So in generating renunciation, this of course involves us recognizing that of the potential positive rebirths we could have, to come again as a human or as a demigod would be the most preferable. However, even this is really meaningfulness. Liberation is the ultimate goal to which we are oriented. And until we really have this firm resolve, then it is important that we continue our meditative contemplation, that we continue to meditate on renunciation time and time again.
다때니 가서 네 젠밥집들 그 셰카디 샤차송 때니 셰카디 가서 산인 샤그릿.
So we have now covered the first two of the parting from the four attachments, and the remaining two we will continue to teach on tomorrow.
Om